Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Can I apologize that it's been a while, Jamie?
At this point, we're just gonna upload whenever.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I think we're just gonna upload whenever because a part of the reason is because I'm going through a rough patch. If you know, you know. Uh, and I hope it gets better, but it might get worse, I guess. But it is what it is. It's
It
just
needs its time.
It is
yeah,
what it
it's life.
is.
It's life, I guess. Anyway, right. The topic we're going to talk about today is the recent happening regarding the ICE event, or no, the ICE incident in Minneapolis,
Yes,
Minneapolis,
Minneapolis. Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. Yeah, I a random random tangent, but Minneapolis sounds like a fake city. Like it sounds like some like Gotham, you know?
Are you thinking of
Ah,
Metropolis?
Metropolis, yeah, that's the
I,
one.
I
Yes.
was hoping you're going to say, so we have Minneapolis. Where's the just Apolis? If we have a mini version,
Or the Big Appolis. Big
or
No,
just
Appolis.
the Apolis.
The huge,
Titanopolis.
huge Appolis. Huge Appolis.
And it's funny because it's close to Minnesota. So where's the Biggie Soda?
Just
Biggie
Sota.
soda. Biggie
Sota
Apple.
XL.
Yeah. All right. Tangent aside, yeah, this is what we're gonna talk about. I think I've seen like a random clip of that video, not the whole thing. I'm not really informed about the situation, so Jamie is gonna inform me and Dan. Dan, how
Yeah.
well informed are you about this whole thing?
Actually, just today I was watching a video about this. Well, not exactly about this. It was more about the divide that is growing in US. But it
Mm.
included this video. I don't think I saw the whole clip, so but I feel like I get more like I got most of it.
Nah. I have this moment of me putting on glasses and I'm slamming down a bunch of documents. This permanently online queer is about to inform you on the pointless dramas that's happening on the internet.
Are you gonna say, Your Honor, may I present the evidence or something like that?
Prosecution presents, but yes, why don't so little forward. The whole debate online has come down to basically it again because we had George Floyd happening in Minneapolis years ago, and it harkens back to police brutality and the whole issue surrounding how ICE as an agency is quite ambiguous, right? Because they don't have any identifying badge. They don't. They're simply masked men with combat gear, and
Guns.
sometimes
Armed.
they don't. Sometimes they don the police symbol, usually on their vests, and this creates a heck of a lot of confusion among people
Really?
because when you see them you don't now you can't trust like who's actually a police and who isn't, right?
Mm.
Conversely, there are good you know I guess quote unquote good cases of ICE where years ago they had to enforce things like forced deportation of dangerous individuals like cartel members, but nowadays it's becoming quite rampant, and we've seen videos of students being detained, we've seen excessive force being applied, and now the with the shooting of the events, people are questioning whether the officer or the agent in question had the right to use such a force to defend himself, right? So now it's quite dramatic in the sense that on both sides of the aisles, the government, the incumbent government, and the Democrats are both trying to weaponize this to their advantage. Um, all the same while, Minneapolis is also going through this Somali learning center scam. I don't know if you heard about this, but there was
I haven't.
there was like a viral video of Nick Shirley, who I believe is CIA. But anyway, he quote unquote uncovers this whole scamming industry behind receiving government funds to run learning centers, but there were no children when he filmed over there. And so people are saying, oh, okay, well, this is just a way to distract from the scam, as opposed to it being like a legitimate, debate. Right. Let's cut to the chase. Let's watch the first clip. So this is the first clip that showed up on the internet days ago.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Before we continue, I just want to say the only thing, at the risk of sounding so ignorant, the only thing about ICE related incidents is when right at the start, when they started like deporting people, like randomly deporting people, and the protest started.
Mm-hmm.
And between then and now, the only thing ICE related that I quote unquote inform myself about is via South Park.
Oh my goodness.
And I feel so ignorant when I say that, but
No, but
hey,
they're pretty spot on. Like with Christy Gnomes, with the falling face and everything. It's pretty insane, honestly. So she's so crazy. She shot her own dog, right? And she wrote about it in the book. And that supposedly was her way of demonstrating strength. And like she tried to use it as, hey, I even when it comes to a dog, if it's dangerous, I have the courage to put it down. And so South Park made a joke where whenever she showed up, she's like sniping dogs out of midair. It was insane.
yeah,
My God.
honestly I did not get that dog part
Ah,
in the South Park video.
yeah, that's
It's
why
like
I streamed.
Now you
why you
know.
keep shooting the dog? I don't get it.
Guys, do I have
Okay,
a
now I know.
problem? I'm so plugged into the American zeitgeist. It's insane. Why do I know about all these things? Okay.
It's amazing, to be honest.
Uh,
Perfect
Yeah,
for our channel, though.
all right. Let's watch the clips, shall we?
sure.
Okay, so after watching the clips, I'll give you some additional information that people have found out. So this is the first clip, which is filmed by a bystander who was also protesting at the site. Here we go. Let's see. That's her. So I think that's her car, right?
The car that passed was a
Their,
nice car.
That's law enforcement
Oh.
pulling up in the pickup.
And it is the Honda
Okay, so
Pilot
this
that we
is
should be
ICE.
focused on here. It's about a
I think it was.
purplish
The
reddish
first
color
car
here.
that passed
So it's
her,
got
it was a
Agent
nice car,
walking
right?
Yeah.
And then
Look
there's
at that.
another agent.
Oh,
I don't know if you
boom,
can see
boom, boom.
that,
So-
that one right there.
So that was 3 shots fired. Do you want to see that again?
Yeah, hold on. He
purplish
shot
reddish color here.
that's really quickly.
Yeah, let me
When
slow
did
it
he draw?
down.
Like,
Let's slow it down. Okay.
And
I
it
saw
is
this
the
part
Honda
with
Pilot that we should.
zoom in and
Zoom in.
Good hands.
Increase clarity.
no, I saw it like already zoomed in the
Yeah,
video
yeah.
that I watched earlier.
So we have this officer.
Oh no, yeah. The guy at the front, like he already pulled his gun out.
Yeah, so that was
So
three.
he
three
pointed
shots.
like if when you watched it in slow mo, he pointed the gun and to kind of to basically make her stay in her place,
Yeah,
and she started to drive away from him. Well, not away. Well, he's in front, but she has her steering wheel to the right
yeah.
at maximum, as far as I can
Yeah.
tell.
No, actually,
And when
he didn't wait. So he didn't pull the gun
Yeah,
on
like
her.
he
Like
pulled his gun out already as she was reversing.
so the first shot actually went through the windshield on the driver's side, and the 2 subsequent shots was when he had his arm reached into the driver's seat and shot her point blank in the face.
oh, really?
Jesus Christ, that's
She
crazy.
had he had his arm in the car.
Yeah.
Can we look at that
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
Can we go?
So
Yeah, all right, right here. Oh shit! Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
see, that's the first shot.
The last,
Boom,
yeah,
boom.
and then,
Second and third. So
damn, that's crazy.
so there is some lore to this. So another footage came out, which is the confrontation between the woman. Her name was Renee Gold. I forgot. Good.
There's
Yeah, there it
there's
is.
on the bottom there.
Renee Good. So this is the earlier confrontation.
Shocking new video has been released from the cell phone of the ICE agent who shot Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis. Jonathan Ross's footage, which was obtained by Alpha News,
Okay.
offers a whole new
He's narrating, but let's start with here.
First-person clip comes as various angles
Oh,
of the
dude, this is annoying because he's trying to explain over the video where,
Just mute him.
yeah,
Jonathan
So that's her girlfriend.
Oh,
Mhm. But Jamie, aren't you doing exactly what the video is doing right now?
No. I wanted because the earlier video didn't have anything, but this video this is recorded by the officer who shot her earlier.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, so
It's
this
just
included.
the brain rot voice guy is doing an explanation of the video, and you're saying that it's annoying. So now you're basically doing exactly what he's doing. Sorry,
Well, my
I don't
voice
know
is
why.
more palatable, I think. Well, in any case,
All right.
so
definitely.
right, this one didn't show, but I could, if I recall from memory, basically at this point, so if I scrub to the earlier when the officer was pointing his camera at Renee Good, she said something along the lines of, "I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you." And then because we don't really have context for what happened before, but they're part of a group that actively monitors ICE movement, and they perform things like doing a blockade. So it's not just them; they're part of a group, and they do things like blocking their vehicles, preventing them from advancing. They have whistles and stuff like that to warn people. And
Mhm.
as the video pans to her girlfriend, she was a lot more provocative. Like she was saying things. She had cursed, and she had said something along the lines of, "Oh, when you come back the next day, our plates is still going to be the same." So it's sort of like, "Oh, I'm not afraid. Uh, not afraid of you tracking. I'm still going to be here the next day." And then go have your lunch. So, and then she said something about like him be a good boy, go have your lunch or something. So it was slightly provocative, but definitely not like
Mhm.
full on cursing. Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
so this was the earlier confrontation. So additional information is that the Renee Good, the lady who was shot, is a mother of two. Her husband passed away in 2023, and she subsequently had another girlfriend, and that was the girlfriend that you saw. That was a lot more provocative. So at the end of the video, of this clip, the girlfriend got in and said, "Drive, baby, drive." Which was divisive because some people took that as, oh, that's their intention to drive over the officer. Now, to the officer, Jonathan
That's
Ross.
kind of far pulled.
Yeah, Jonathan Ross used to be ex-military. I believe he was part of a military, or at least he was part of in other organizations of enforcement. And he had a previous incident with fugitive, another immigrant fugitive, where in his chase he was caught in, I don't know if it was his arm that was caught in a car or something, but he was dragged by a car for about, was it 50 meters or something? Like he was dragged in a car basically. And
Mhm.
what happened was that after the incident, Christy Nome came out straight up and just said that the officer has no fault in this, and that Renee Good basically had intent to kill. Then we had the vice president, Vance, coming out to sort of shame the politicization of this whole event. And then the viral thing was that he said something like, "Oh, this officer had a traumatic past. You would think that he would be a little traumatized and react, kind of like justifying his overreaction because he had a bad previous experience with this." Okay, so that was basically the whole thing. And
Mhm.
right now we have a prominent on the right hand, like in terms of YouTube reach, you have Asmongold coming out to say that the agent basically has the right to defend himself because a person in a moving vehicle, as she drove away, she did nudge him a little bit. If it's very fast, very difficult to see. But if we look at this clip, you see, he appears from behind the car. He was right there.
Yeah.
See, as she drives aside, she did nudge him a little bit, just a little bit. And then he fired
Yeah,
the
I
shot.
mean, the thing about situational awareness is that you don't put yourself in the line of danger,
Pretty much, like
And he
the
literally walked in.
I
He
mean,
decided to walk in front of the car. He decided to put himself in danger.
yeah. So
That's
he,
like that's like if you decide to walk to a neighborhood which is known for robbings and burglary and muggings, and you decide to put on your Gucci bag and you decide to have like money sticking out of your pockets. You're just basically,
you're asking for it. You mean?
oh, I don't want to say
Let-
that because
yeah, I was sitting there and like, okay, you go into a bad neighborhood, you dress like revealing, and you're a woman, so
Yeah, I don't want
you're
to go
asking for
there.
it.
Oh
And
dear.
I was like,
Dan, why do you put
that's
me
not
there?
good.
Okay, wait.
But I keep thinking that I think the officer, his actions
Mhm.
are they're not as bad as maybe some people think, but only if it was really a criminal. Because if it was really a criminal and she done something bad and she was trying to get away, I can understand that when he thought she wants to run him over, and even though she did not. I mean, after the first shot, I think it was pretty clear for him that that she was already not trying to run him over, because the consecutive shots, he was already on the side of her car.
Yeah.
But of course, it's split seconds stuff, adrenaline. You made a decision that you need to shoot at this person, and this decision might have some inertia, because you usually don't shoot one shot and then analyze the situation, because maybe you won't have time to do that, and instead it's better to shoot a second time. So I can understand his actions, but I think the biggest problem is that she didn't look like she's a dangerous criminal.
Yeah.
Valid
Uh,
point.
And I agree with you, Dan, but regarding you don't have time to shoot one shot and then analyze, I have to disagree. Then it's a question about training. Of course, in a realistic scenario, like you don't have time to think.
So here's a fun
But
fact: the shooting officer, John Ross, is actually the dedicated arms trainer in DEA, or maybe in his previous jobs or something. But he is actually a combat trainer who trains people to shoot. And
yeah,
but right before we start talking about the individual points, right? Like let's establish the left versus right arguments, right? I'll try to present the best arguments from both sides, because there are some things that are kind of iffy. So on the left, the very obvious public outcry, the sentiment surrounds the fact that, one, Renee Good is not an immigrant and she has no criminal backgrounds. She is a mother of two. Although she had been participating in these anti-ICE movements, there was no evidence, or at least to the knowledge of the agents, that she was not a dangerous actor. Right? She had never committed any kind of bodily injury to any ICE agents, and the fact that shooting her in the face was excessive force, and the fact that and the left calls out the fact that the agent doesn't really have any valid arguments for using a gun when he has a taser at his disposal. In addition to that, the agents around the guy, none of them have pulled out their guns, right? If all the agents on site were assessing the situation, it would be very weird for just one agent to come to the conclusion that she is an immediate danger that has to be terminated. Meanwhile, all the other officers didn't feel this way. And
yeah.
so,
I mean, if I can,
go ahead.
put my. Anyways, I think for me, like, of course, I'm no one to come, like to. Of course, I'm no expert, but For me, the only logical explanation of his act was that he was determined to stop her, and that's why I think it could be a noble thing if it would be a really a dangerous criminal. But I feel like it was just she was a nuisance to him. He didn't like that what they were doing, and I think he allowed his emotions to come to this like
Yeah.
really bad action.
Pretty
May,
much.
may I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So first of all, the whole situation is just shit, right? Regardless of left or right, like it's just a shitty situation. Now, yes, he's the only one who draw and fired, but then again, he's the only one who put himself in the path of danger.
Correct, yeah. And so that
I'm
affected
a bit afraid to mention this, but I mean, if the police is trying to stop you and they point a gun at you, I mean, you're supposed to comply, but I also understand why she didn't, because
Yeah, but
the relationship
pulled
with
his gun and start shooting straight away. There was no time for her to register that there was a gun being drawn on her and there's a gun pointed at her.
If she
and the
didn't
gun
see
being
the gun,
fired
then
at
it's
her.
completely different. Yeah, I guess we won't know for sure.
No, but and you have to imagine, right? Like sometimes even just via conversation, we get shocked and we don't react properly.
There's also the fight
Like-
and flight response, you know.
That as
Exactly.
well, yeah.
So if you ask me, like, I think that they shouldn't have driven away just like that. And I think that the officer also should not have drawn his gun and shot.
Yeah, that's really good. I agree totally to that.
I think both sides escalated the situation to a point where it's just shit.
Yeah. To your point,
I also think that the officer should have known that if a car were to take off, that it would be going forward.
You know, this brings me. Sorry to interrupt you, if I may. This made me remember in the very beginning, while we were still watching the video, I kept thinking that the main people that we should blame about this whole thing are somewhere higher up. It's the people that decided that US needs this insane, as Trump likes to say, witch hunt. If you're gonna pump the city with officers with guns, and they're all, and everything is tensed up, you're gonna have more like situations like this. This is like it's a very unfortunate accident. I think if everyone was really calm and they could think out their actions like in chess, probably it wouldn't happen. But when it's split second decisions, accidents like this will happen, and the real people that are at fault at this. No, of course, besides the actual people that are participated in this, but are the people higher up that decided that this whole operation or
the
whatever it's called
bourgeoisie
is needed.
They don't
You know what this
suffer the
reminds me of?
consequences.
This reminds me of the saying that young men die for the decisions of old men.
Yeah, that's always been the
kind of
case,
basically.
Right. Well, in any case, in addition to the point Benny made earlier, in the clip that the first clip that we saw, the ICE agents were yelling at her, basically saying, "Get out of the car," repeatedly. And I think John Ross was the one who took initiative to block the path, hoping that she would get out of the car. And that comes to this boils down the right wing's arguments to one thing. Effectively saying that we have seen, police members exercise the right to shoot a suspect. Sometimes, as there was a more extreme case, was when a person was trying to throw a kettle of boiling hot water towards the officer, and he shot back. And then the court ruling was that he was justified in doing so. And the right is arguing that, you live in America. This is a place where, police do have immunity to exercise the right to defend themselves, even if, the injury that you would cause won't necessarily kill them. So as long as it inflicts grave bodily harm, like a broken leg, a gashing wound, they are in the right to retaliate. And they're saying, you fuck around and find out. This, these are the rules. You're supposed to obey the law, and you can't just, the argument that the force is excessive is kind of irrelevant at this point, because they're pointing out the legal precedents, the legal cases that have happened before, and trying to explain that this is the status quo. You should have known it, even if some of them do agree with you that this is excessive, but they err on the side that this is the fact and this is how it is in America. You should have known better.
That I see the point of that statement. I understand where it's coming from, but at one point I have to ask, where is the line?
Right.
At one point, is it justified? And at one point, is it just an excuse for an abuse of power?
I think a big problem comes back to the fact that these are unidentified agents. They're usually masked. You don't really know if they're police or not. So Renee Good in this case, like, they do know that these are ICE agents, but there is some level of ambiguity to them because, prior to the Trump administration, ICE focused on apprehension and deportation of immigrants. It's only until recently that we've seen excessive force being exercised, right? And, so a counter argument is that it's not, like, DEA agents are sorry, not DEA, the ICE agents are not police members, and the idea of giving them full immunity is inexcusable. It's not right, basically. Which, by the way, I have to
I want
point
to
out,
say,
like, in Asia,
Sure.
you don't do this. Like, in Asia, most people in Asia are very law abiding. So you respect the police and the police respect you. This is what we're taught. And this is why, like, if I have a police member who's as rude as some of the police member or even the ICE agents are to their fellow Americans, like, that's shocking to me. That would scare the shit out of me, because
I'm
police,
not.
like, they don't do that here, and we, look, I feel like, at least in Japan, in most parts of China, Taiwan, in South Korea, people respect the police, right? Like, whatever they say is the law, and so society do hold them to a higher degree of respect, but also to a higher level of scrutiny. If a police were to ever, kill somebody, it would make headline news, and people would call for, like, it's inexcusable. We don't accept this kind of stuff. Right.
Yeah, but also in Asia, sorry, I have to cut you off there.
Yeah.
Sorry, but like in Asia, there is also a lot of corruption,
Yeah.
even in the police. I'm not arguing that one's right, one's wrong. That's not what I'm arguing. But like, um, if I can go back, right, to the situation of what we were originally talking about, since they are unmarked, and I want to play devil's advocate here. At what point do normal or bad will people gonna take advantage of this?
Right, because there were also cases of vigilantes, civilians disguising themselves as ICE agents, and then to add to that, there were cases of ICE agents posing as police members. So this is all just a
That's
huge,
bad.
big kerfuffle,
It's
right?
madness, yeah.
Who can you trust? Like, what do you know? But do you guys think that he had the right to defend himself at that point? Because I think he
I
did.
think
He did believe
I
that he was
think
going to get run over. Like
uh,
Hey, look, I think he had the right to defend himself, but I think as a professional, no, not that I'm not saying that I'm a professional, but I think that he as a professional should know that escalation is the last option. And
yeah.
I felt like he went straight into escalating the situation
I think
without considering any other options.
it wasn't even escalating, right? It was already at the top. Like he brought it directly to the top.
Yeah, exactly.
The final
That's what you
level of
call like space
violence.
escalation, no?
When you said
yeah.
you when you said, "Oh, I'm no expert," I was thinking, "Huh." It's like saying, "I'm no expert of executing
No,
lesbians."
no, no, no. He said as a professional.
Oh, a professional
Yeah, but
lesbian
I wasn't
exterminator.
referring to me as a professional. I meant like him as a professional.
Yeah.
I think he should have known better.
I I feel like why
I
not use a
look.
taser? Like why not use the
Okay,
taser?
Agree.
yeah. I feel
I
like
think
he's not directly in front of the vehicle, right? Yes,
Mm,
it's a big vehicle, but I feel like he could. Yes, he might suffer some bodily harm, but I feel like he
mhm.
could also jump to the side to not get run over, even if her intentions was to run him over. You know?
Yeah.
I think that from like uh I feel like the comment that he escalated the situation way too much straight away is the best one, because at that point when you're in front of the vehicle, it's hard for me to say that he is completely wrong, but he is wrong that for what was her offense? She blocked half the road for like their cars. Is this something is this
Is that
something
a
where you
felony?
have to
Well,
be so, like you have to have 5 people with guns surrounding a car?
yeah.
Like they could have just recorded her number plate and like
Deal with it tomorrow,
send it to
like
the
send her a
police
fine. Yeah.
and maybe give her a fine for blocking the road, right? That would be like, and they didn't even had to move for that, because I feel like the biggest problem is that at no point she looked to me dangerous. She at no point I felt like she's a dangerous person.
Yeah.
And
And also, I don't understand. You said like before the whole thing, the officers were already there shouting at her to get out.
Mhm.
Like I I don't understand why were they so escalative? Like why couldn't one of them just go up to her and speak to her like a fucking normal human being and say, "Hey, ma'am, you're disturbing. You're being a public nuisance right now.
Mhm.
If you don't move the vehicle, I'm going to have to ask you to step out of the vehicle." Like just fucking talk, right?
Well, in the previous
yeah,
clip, we've already seen that what she is part of the ICE monitoring group, and she had been tailing them, for days apparently, and they have, blocked the ICE vehicles on a couple of occasions before. I wouldn't know for sure, but needless to say that they have the agents understand that this individual is part of the group and have previous incidents of being obstructive, and so they've been
Yeah, but
calling
still,
for them to get out of the vehicle in the previous clip, and then they chased a bit, and then comes the gunshot.
then why not, like Dan said, okay, it's a obstruction to police activity, that's a case for a felony. Write this to the judges, the executive
Hmm.
department. Executive writes a warrant, sends it to her. You need to show up in court or face a fine or jail time or whatever. There's the whole reason there's rules and there's a system, right?
Yeah,
If you start
yeah,
taking things into your own hands, then isn't that also vigilantism? Blah, blah, if I said that right,
yeah,
vigilantism. Because
vigilante.
you decided to step outside of the system and take matters into your own hands. As annoying as it might be, as frustrating as it might be, you stepped out of the system.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
the
And
another
if
yeah.
I think it's a little bit like when teachers lash out at children, it's bad. But I think it's also a sign that the teachers don't have a tool to, conduct their lesson, and they don't have a tool to make children behave or isolate them. And I feel like if they really don't have a tool, but I feel like they probably do. Somehow I don't quite believe my own narrative, but if I imagine that they don't have a tool, then they should first address that. They should talk to
Go up to
their
their
superiors.
supervisor and say, "Sir, we have this issue. We need a solution."
Yeah, like the people are blocking our actions, and let's imagine they're actually chasing only the bad people and deporting only the bad people.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of messed up that the misinformed people are not helping them. I mean, not helping them, but like are in the way, basically.
My understanding, like I'm not sure if they have an actual chain of command. ICE was its own agency before Trump's administration, but after appointing Christine Holmes, there were just so many changes and such like a huge drastic change to the department. I think there may be a lot of confusion because when you see like a pack of ICE agents, like there's no clear identification of who's the superior, or even having seen them, it seems like they're all acting at the same level. They don't take command from each other or from any superior among the group. And the other thing is that these ICE agents I don't think they have any right to apprehend citizens. They can only do so. They can only exert force on the target, on the immigrant, and there's maybe it's the pent up frustration of constantly being constantly being impeded by these activists that they eventually broke loose.
Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
saying that they don't have the right to apprehend citizens. So my
Yeah.
understanding is the fact that the officer was standing in front of the car is in that action already a mistake.
Yeah, well, it's blurry, right? Like it's not so black and white because we have seen them cuff like a black
Wait,
student.
they don't have a right to apprehend
Citizens,
anyone or citizens,
just
right?
citizens. So they're not. I don't believe they have the legal right that if you're obstructing them, that like the police can. If you're
They're like
obstructing a police,
they're like a security guard in Walmart, like
yeah. But we have seen them use like
in a
these
way.
universal cuffs, and then they do cuff some people up. And they're like rumors spreading on Reddit. They're saying, "Oh, these universal cuffs are bought on Amazon, so you can actually just buy the keys and then free yourself."
Because they're basically two zip ties connected, right?
Yeah,
Is it-
no,
Wait, are you talking
I
about
think it's
those?
actual. It's an
or are you
actual
talking
cuff.
about zip ties?
It's this. I think it's the same cuff I have that I use for other means, and it's
Thanks.
and it's pretty much just like a very simple key, right? Like it's a simple key that you could just open it. So it's possible that because like you look at their gear, right? Everybody kind of dresses differently, so they don't have a standard issue. Meaning the arsenal that they have is up to them. Like we've seen after this incident, a lot of protest broke out, and there was a very viral picture, circulating, where it shows an ICE agent using like a hand grenade launcher, and he shot a round of pepper spray bomb, right? A pepper spray grenade, like a 40 millimeter grenade, into the face of a person that was on campus, who's I suspect was a student or maybe a faculty member or just a citizen. But yeah, they shot them in the face with a freaking grenade launcher and it exploded with toxic pepper, I guess.
I feel like they're too trigger happy. They're not supposed to be having weapons. They should like they just gathered a bunch of people that don't like them migrants, and they bought a bunch of guns and stuff on Amazon, and then now they're this pretend police that think they're saving America.
Yeah.
God damn.
Do you think like they have a directive from up top, because in South Park they joke about Pete Hegseth, the department lead of, was it a minister of war or something? But they joke about both him and Christy Gnomes. They're always streaming. They're streaming. They're doing selfies. They're doing these publicity stunts, and we see that the emboldened ICE, conducting these stunts basically as a scare tactic. And I feel like maybe that's why they decide to engage with anyone obstructing them, because they could have just, if there's like a vehicle blockade, right? Why not just drive through them? Is it because they don't
Or
have a standard issue vehicle, so they drive their own vehicle? So they don't want to damage their own vehicle? Because I feel like if you're like if you're if you're a police member, you could just drive through, right? Nudge them out of the
I
way.
mean,
Yeah.
I think you'd still also consider if you really want to damage your equipment, because you're gonna have to deal with the paperwork and the consequences of that as well.
I guess
think.
so, but you could. You're not liable to it, right? If you have a good reason.
Mm,
I mean, unless you have a really, really good reason, normally you have to you partly have to cover the cost of the equipment, like 10% or something like that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this whole incident started a cascade of multiple incidents of ICE using excessive force. There are now raids conducted by ICE where they raid people's homes and they just apprehend people that are not white.
With a warrant?
No, they don't need a warrant. They're federal agent, right? So they bypass state laws, I believe.
messed up stuff.
It's crazy, and I just, what do you think, like, the Americans can do against this? Like, how do you even stop this? Because as long as Trump is the president, there's no way of stopping this. You're effectively going to have this Gestapo for the remainder of his tenancy.
I mean, is there really nothing they can do? Like, can they not like make a not a referendum?
Oh, okay. Yeah, like some kind of voting on abolishing this, right? Like, but no, they can't, because it would have to come from the
Can they
top.
not like try to convince Parliament to make like a vote of no confidence or something like that?
I think the Republicans control has a majority in Senate, so they effectively do have the upper hand when it comes to passing a bill that eventually that gets turned into a law or something. And so
Okay, how about I ask it like this? Can a citizen not go to their political representative of their town or city or state and address their concerns there?
they could, which they have, and they've been calling the reps. The Minnesota is the current governor of Minneapolis, or is it Minnesota? Anyway, it's, yeah, Minnesota is Tim Walsh, and Minneapolis is somebody else. But we've seen them come out to to speak out against this aggression. But there's really nothing much they can do unless they want to go full out war with the United States, which is uh which is when a state goes rogue and effectively becomes not part of the United States. And you become like a foreign entity, which I don't even know how that legally can happen. But I've seen some TV shows where like, governors could use the state troops, to effectively militarize the state, and that becomes an opposition force to the federal government.
Yeah, succession, I think it's called.
Yeah, it is intense. Like, what would you do if you live in America? Like, how would you even how would you how would you hide from them, right? Like, if somebody reports you, you could be white looking, right? Imagine if it's Dan, and they could just say that, oh well, he's not American, he's a Polish immigrant or something. And then ICE could still come after him. Yeah, like what would you even do? How do you survive?
If I live in a place where ICE is conducting their raids and they could
Would you
rake
defend
me in
yourself?
because for some reason they.
Like maybe you played a game with me and I got
I
really mad. I reported you.
I am so
Isn't that just swapping?
I'm an illegal immigrant, right?
You don't even have to be an illegal immigrant. Do you remember the case of was it this
No, but just for me to understand my situation.
yeah.
In this situation,
So
are we legal or illegal?
you are a legal immigrant in the United States. You've been
Did you
wrongfully
say a legal immigrant or did you say illegal? Yeah.
legal,
Yeah.
perfectly legal. You have a visa.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Well, then I would comply. Like I
Yeah.
would, if they want to check me, I wouldn't shout anything or run away. I would give my documents and just
Aha.
try to be.
Wait. Are they so am I just chilling in my house? Okay, you gotta set the scene up. Am I just chilling in my house and then they burst in the front door?
Correct. Yeah. FBI
Oh
SWAT
shit, who's
team
gonna pay
style.
for that?
No one.
You.
If it's
Seriously? I can't like, hey, you guys got the wrong guy, I sue you or something?
I think if it's the feds or the police, there are avenues to ask for reparations. But I believe if you are indeed like a criminal, if you get convicted, you don't have the right to ask for repairs. But here's
Yeah,
the
but in
Yeah,
our
but I'm
case,
not a
we are not.
criminal. You said I was legal.
no, but that's the thing, right? Like, so don't even worry about the repairs because here's what's the worst thing that could happen to you. There was
They shoot me in the
there
head.
was a legal immigrant in the United States, who is maybe Guatemalan. I forgot his name, but then he was very unlucky, and as a publicity stunt, Trump had ICE apprehend him, and eventually, exported to say it nicely, exported him to El Salvador to the maximum prison that is run by
Yeah,
I forgot his name, but it's this crazy millennial
just
president.
messed up.
And the individual that was deported there was sent to this maximum security prison, and he was he had been sexually assaulted, he was raped, he was attacked, he was brutalized, and he was even at one point kept in like a solitary cell that has no windows, and they get no activities. Like you're at the mercy of the El Salvadorian prison system. That's the worst thing that could happen to you.
Yeah,
Damn. Like did he
I
not get
remember
a
now.
lawyer? Like no nothing?
Sorry.
He didn't get a lawyer, like there's no
No,
case. You
there's
just
no due
Yeah,
process, right? There's no due process for this. They ship you out. You remember when this happened, there were some judges that tried to ground the flight, but they couldn't. Or maybe they did, but that was the rounds after that. So they didn't manage to save some of the wrongfully exported people. It took a governor who went down there and demanded to see the person, and really persisted to eventually free the wrongfully incarcerated individual.
holy shit, I
yeah,
guess you're just fucked, right? Because like if you resist, you get shot, you die. If you don't
Yeah,
resist, you get deported, you get fucked.
literally. Yeah. So which
yeah.
one would you prefer? It's just such a
I
messy
Would you rather
guess would
die
be
or get
getting
fucked
shot.
over?
And Dan is just like, I'd rather be shot than be
I would rather run for it than to be sent down to where was it?
El Salvador.
Salvador?
It is,
Yeah,
it's
that
intense.
prison sounds like a death sentence.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah, that's
Drugged
legit
like
out.
if you end up there, you're fucked anyway.
legit horror stories come out of it. There's just so much sexual abuse, which, by the way, as a tangent, like, why is this a thing? Why do like these maximum prisons that we've heard stories from Russia, from Latin America, where I think even so in Asia, I've heard of the same stories from like North Korean concentration camps to South
Concentration
Korean
camp.
military, where in these kinds of situations, it's like in a prison or in some kind of a structure, like a military, there's just so much man on man action. Why?
It's less about the action itself. It's about power. It's
Yeah,
about
but that
domination.
domination though, like,
They
is
get
it
hard from power. That's how I
No,
literally?
understand it.
it's sexual assault as a weapon. This is what happens in war as well.
That's the crazy thing. Like,
I don't get it. Do I
how
have a
have we
problem with my
evolved that?
libido? I cannot imagine like just to like make you like just do wrong to you. I'm gonna fuck you. Like I I wouldn't get hard. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
because
usually then you don't have to be the one who initiates that. You can order somebody else who's more into it.
Ah,
and if that,
but it's not the case like that all the time, is it? It's not like there's always somebody ordering that and then somebody is like, "Yes, sir."
I mean, usually the guy
No.
on top is making the decisions, and then he can decide if he wants to do it himself or he wants somebody else to do it.
It's like a hazing ritual I know in the Russian army that this could happen, where the seniors would
That's
quite
crazy.
literally do that to you, though. So
I
here's my
One thing I really don't get it.
Mm,
Russians, like at least like I guess the people that you usually find in prisons, they're very homophobic in the sense that like they're like I think if you would met them by accident on the street and you were gay, you
mm,
that could easily lead to your death.
right.
At the same time, these are the same people that would rape other men in the prison, and I don't get it. Like, I
Me
don't
neither.
get
Like,
it.
how do you think? How have we evolved this as a method of torture or like hurting others? 'Cause there's a myriad of ways of torturing people. We've seen that in history. Why does it always come down to sexual abuse? And why why is it that like we do this more so to men than women for some reason? Like doing it for the abuse of it, whereas for women, like
Well,
some men do
I think
actually
it's because
derive. Yeah.
prisons are separated by your sex,
Gender.
and
Yeah, that's true.
I
That's true.
guess militaries for most of like our
Mm.
history as well. So
Ah,
I think that's like just physically blocking the statistics. Because if it
mm.
would be a mixed prison, I think it would be a completely different
I don't
story.
think that.
Look,
I don't know if that would be a good idea in the
but
first
No, I'm
place.
even
not saying it's a good idea. It's a horrible idea, but I'm just saying that
Yeah.
like I had a conversation about this with my friend, and one of them said like, well, imagine you don't touch a woman for 10 years. Eventually, gonna get hard off like for a man. That,
No,
that was
no.
the reasoning.
but that's the thing though.
A
Like,
I think
theory.
I disagree with that statement.
so
I
let
mean,
me.
I don't, I like, if I try to imagine it for myself, I don't agree with it as well, but I've never been in that situation, thankfully. So, and my response was actually that, well, until about like 20 years old, I didn't touch a woman and you didn't see me like trying to rape you.
Exactly. Yeah,
In our next episode,
that's a good statement. Yeah.
I will trap both Dan and Bernard on an island with me for 10 years. And let's see. I'm
It's
rubbing my
going to be a
hands
very
I
long
together.
don't
episode.
think I would like that. I don't think the people in my life would like that too.
No,
At
but
least I
so
don't.
here's
I hope
my
I don't.
question is the biology of it. Even as somebody who, like, you would think that maybe I could do it, but I can objectively tell you, like, in that situation, I'm not in the mood. Like, it's weird if I'm really trying to attack somebody or like really torture them. Sex is not on the menu. You know.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'll inflict grave
exactly.
bodily harm, but I wouldn't
Mhm.
want to fuck them.
I've
Like just
heard
the
the
thought of it.
theory. I heard a theory from a friend that like some people they get aroused from dominance, like the feeling
Mm.
that
Yeah,
they are in control is what gets them, is their fetish. So I
and
guess
usually these people are the ones who feel like they don't have control in life.
Mm.
It's intense. I wouldn't. I guess we're lucky that we never really have a chance to find out. Maybe there is some kind of, adrenaline rush when you're in a fight, and that triggers parts of the brain that's close to where how like
Wow.
you know how there is a biological explanation for feet fetish, right? For foot fetish.
Wait,
Uh,
I think I
I
know
don't
about
think I know.
yeah, it's because apparently it's very close to the part of our brain that associates with sexual arousal, and so some people develop in such a way where they would find feet to be sexy, and then some people find another common one is leather. For some reason, the material leather could be arousing to people. Is that the right word? Arousing.
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 Yeah, but so this could
Just the
happen.
material itself, or when somebody's wearing it?
When somebody's wearing it, I guess, would be
Okay.
more so. And the extreme example is blood, right? So I wonder if that's the same case for like adrenaline rush. But I've had adrenaline rushes like in doing sports and stuff like
Sounds
that.
like it could be the case.
Like when I was or when I was a futile train a futilely desperately, pathetically training for MMA, I've had some adrenaline rushes like in a proper fight, but it never got sexual for me. So I don't really understand how that's
Hmm.
possible.
Me neither. So I think they're just gay, but they're trying to cover it up with,
But
oh,
so
you don't
many of
get it.
them?
It's
Or
adrenaline.
maybe
It's
they have some kind
dominance.
of sexual trauma, and this is their only way that they can like release it.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about this because there was actually a documented there was a recording of somebody citing an ICE agent cuffing a woman, and then went into a public toilet with her.
What?
Yeah. So the
Ah.
assumption is that he did do things to her because
And nobody did anything.
no, because it was like snowing and it's very far away, and the person filming is just like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Because they thought it was just, oh, okay, the person's cuffed, but they escort them to the toilet and make sure they don't escape. But to go inside a porta potty with them, I don't know. That screams, yeah, rape to me.
That sounds really wrong.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how we could exist in a society with this Gestapo. It's insane. And then what's even crazier is that now with the raids that are happening in households, like a lot of like these Chinese students are freaking out as well because they could also be targets. And then there are people like if you want to lose faith in humanity, you could just visit like the Reddit group for investments for stock. There are people talking about how can we make money from this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One question that comes to my mind. I mean, of course, not everybody is in a privileged place to be able to just decide to leave. But like, for example, the Chinese students,
Yeah.
why don't they leave?
A lot of them
Like people
did.
who have the option, why do they not?
You see, like a lot for a lot of them, it's the matter of, hey, I've already invested so much money to make a difference in my life by coming to the States, and the
Yeah.
shame of
But is
going
it worth
back.
it though?
Well, you're talking about
And
the
also,
rich.
the chances of this happening to you are not exactly, super high.
Mhm,
So it's
But it's
just,
not exactly super low too.
I guess so.
yeah, but you want to finish something you started. You're almost there. I can easily imagine myself thinking, okay, like I'm gonna go through, and it'll be, the chances are high enough that I'll be fine in the end.
I think a possible strat is if you live somewhere quite remote and there's just not a lot of people, you could theoretically dispatch them. And if you have the right weapons, you have the element of surprise, like you could maybe get rid of them and then, somehow dissolve their bodies. But that's a very dark road to walk down just to stay in the States.
That is, might as well just stay in the remote area and
Yeah.
not show yourself. You're gonna attract a lot of attention
My,
after
my.
just one case.
Dude, I just feel so bad for them. But yeah, I guess that's our coverage of the ICE incident today.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's about an hour now, right?
yeah,
What's our summary?
a summary is uh excessive response. I really hope, like, because I tried to, as I said earlier, like in most Asian countries, like this is just not tolerated. Both the behavior towards enforcement, if they are really classified as law enforcement, you do need to respect them. But on the other hand, this kind of excessive response, if I in Taiwan, this is how crazy it is. If you see a police um doing some kind of apprehension, like pinning, let's say pinning somebody to the ground, and if that person is a woman, like a young lady who might be a protester, that is considered national scandal, and somebody will lose their job. Like it's that intense because we reserve so much respect and leniency for them, so that they can actually eliminate the true threats in society. And if they
What
did,
if that young
Yeah.
woman was like a really evil like human trafficker
mhm.
that lures people in with like honeypot traps or
Yeah, I think a big problem is that they're trying to turn this into like a mass operation. Like it's just expanded in scale so much. Where before it was just kind of like tactical hit squads, right? Like most people don't even notice them because they're very, uh, they're, they're not this self-aggrandizing. They're not this evident. They're not this obvious to spot. But now they
Yeah.
parade on the street in their full tactical gear with an AR-15 rifle, with mask and like sunglasses. It's so much showmanship, and it's like, to me, that is a society that stops functioning.
yeah, like they're not even trying to fight anymore,
Yeah,
basically.
freaking
All right, so
paramilitaries.
closing thoughts. I think Jamie, you just said yours.
Yeah.
Dan?
Well, I'm gonna return to the thing I had in my mind in the beginning. I think the real people that should be blamed the most is the higher ups that created this whole situation. Because there's a lot to debate that, of course, the officer didn't do everything correctly. I agree, and and really the root cause is in the very beginning when it wasn't nobody, no one was in danger. Is when they decided that they're gonna stop this person no matter what. Like she's some sort of dangerous criminal, where she's just a protester. She's a nuisance, and that's it, as far as I understand. But yeah, as I still think that the biggest problem is that somebody decided that they need this giant operation that's gonna cause many incidents where we were probably close enough to a similar situation, but it was just fortunate enough not to
Mhm.
come to this. Somebody was a bit more professional, a bit more controlling of his emotions. Uh, yeah, that's what I think.
Indeed. Benny?
Yeah, just all around, just a shitty situation. As I'm gonna repeat, I think both sides escalated way too much. They shouldn't have been shouting. They should have been communicating properly. The people in the car shouldn't have just drone off. The guy shouldn't be in front of the vehicle. He shouldn't have drawn his weapon at that. And as Dan said, which I also completely agree upon, like the whole escalation, the decision to escalate like this, now just outside of the situation, but just the whole operation with no seemingly clear chain of command, no seemingly clear structure. Maybe there is, and we just don't know, right? Maybe
Yeah.
there is, but we only know what we see, and we don't see it, right?
Mhm.
And just that in itself is just wrong, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And which links to Dan's statement of just in the planning on the operations level, it's already messed up.
I think I have a final solution for this. Or not a solution. I know when the Americans will stop having this. Like for actual change to happen, we need ICE to execute a dog or a cat. Then, oh my god, the internet will lose their shit. Shit's about to break loose. If a cute little puppy is involved,
didn't the director already kill their own dog or something?
yeah, but that was not filmed, right? If we have a film circulating on the internet of ICE agents executing a dog, oh my god,
I'm pretty sure you can use Sora for that.
I know. That would be the defense of the administration. It's AI. It's all fake. It's fake news. Indeed. All right, guys. So should we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys for
everything.
tuning in. And tune back in 15 years where we have the same discussion, but this time it's a Tesla bot that executed a lesbian. So have a good rest of the day, I guess. We'll see you again
next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.